This land has waterfalls that can help treat asthma, the cleanest lakes in Europe, and enchanting, picture-perfect villages surrounded by alpine magical mountains. These are just a few glimpses of what you're about to witness from the breathtaking nature of Austria. So stay with us for a few minutes as we explore the amazing natural wonders of Austria. Hohe Tauern National Park. This national park is the largest protected area in the Alps and one of the biggest national parks in Europe. Spanning over 1,800 square kilometers across the provinces of Salzburg, Tyrol, and Carinthia, it's a sanctuary for more than 10,000 animal species and 1,500 plant species. The park includes Austria's highest peak, the Grossglockner, and its longest glacier, the Pustayscher, as well as roaring waterfalls like the Krimml Falls, which are among Europe's tallest. Established in 1981 after decades of conservation advocacy, the park was created not only to protect biodiversity but also to preserve cultural landscapes shaped by centuries of alpine farming and settlement. One fascinating aspect of Hohe Tauern is its zoning system, a core zone where nature is left untouched, and outer zones that support sustainable tourism and local traditions. The park also played a role in post-war recovery, providing jobs in ecotourism. Golden eagles, bearded vultures, and marmots are just some of the species you may encounter. Hohe Tauern is a blueprint for balancing conservation with community development in the heart of Europe. Grossglockner. This tallest mountain in Austria isn't just a peak. It's a national symbol, a scientific treasure, and a battleground for climate change. Standing at 3,798 meters, Grossglockner towers over the Hohe Tauern range in the central Eastern Alps. Its pyramid-like shape and glacier-covered flanks make it one of the most iconic mountains in Europe. First summit in 1800, marking the beginning of alpine mountaineering in Austria. It has been a magnet for climbers and scientists ever since. The Pustayscher Glacier on its eastern flank is Austria's largest glacier, but it's also shrinking fast, having lost more than half its volume in the last century due to global warming. Today, it's closely monitored as a barometer of climate change in the Alps. The mountain is also rich in geological significance. Its rocks reveal a complex history of tectonic uplift and glacial sculpting that spans millions of years. Interestingly, reaching the mountain doesn't require ropes and ice axes for everyone. The Grossglockner High Alpine Road, one of the most scenic drives in Europe, completed in 1935, the road drives you close to the glacier to enjoy its majestic views. The route itself was a major engineering achievement and provided jobs during the Great Depression. Along the road, there are many spots you can stop for a quick snap or just to enjoy the enchanting surroundings. You may also spot ibex, marmots, and golden eagles while learning about glacial retreat and alpine ecosystems. Grossglockner isn't just a high point in altitude. It's a high point in Austrian natural history, culture, and scientific observation. It stands as a stunning reminder of the beauty and fragility of the alpine world. Krimml Waterfalls. This is the tallest waterfalls in all of Central Europe. The Krimml Waterfalls, located in the Hohe Tauern National Park in Salzburg, cascade down a staggering 380 meters in 3 powerful stages. Formed by the Krimmler Ake River as it descends from the Krimml mountain range, the falls are not just a dramatic natural wonder, they're also scientifically significant. The waterfalls play a vital ecological role, supporting unique mosses, lichens, and moisture-loving plants. Studies have shown that, due to the ion-rich air, the fine mist generated by the waterfalls has therapeutic benefits for people with asthma and respiratory issues. This has led to the development of health trails and breathing therapy zones nearby. First mentioned in documents dating back to the 13th century, the falls have long been a draw for visitors and were even sketched by famous artists of the Romantic period. An ingeniously constructed trail, built in the late 1800s by the Austrian Alpine Club, allows you to hike alongside the waterfall with multiple platforms offering breathtaking views. Hallstatt. The postcard-perfect houses clinging to cliffs in this tiny European village, combined with the dramatic surrounding landscape, create one of the most unforgettable natural settings. Hallstatt sits on the edge of Hallstatter Sea, a deep glacial lake carved by Ice Age glaciers and fed by alpine springs and mountain runoff. The lake itself reaches depths of over 120 meters, and its crystal-clear waters are home to a variety of cold water fish like lake trout and char. Reflections of the towering Dachstein Mountains ripple across the surface, creating mirror-like images that shift with every change in light and season. Towering directly behind the village is the Dachstein Massif, a jagged limestone range that rises to nearly 3,000 meters. Its steep walls and cliffs create a natural amphitheater around Hallstatt, making the town feel both protected and dwarfed by the massive scale of nature. The area is rich in karst formations, limestone terrain shaped by water, resulting in caves, underground streams, and vertical sinkholes. The air in Hallstatt is notably pure, thanks to limited road traffic and environmental protections. Seasonal changes bring new character to the landscape. Spring bursts with wildflowers, summer brings shimmering lake days, autumn paints the forests gold, and winter blankets everything in quiet snow. This profound fusion of alpine grandeur and an iconic village truly makes Hallstatt a place of unparalleled beauty. Dachstein Massif. This spectacular mountain ranges is a place where ancient oceans, underground ice caves, and dizzying skywalks all come together. Stretching across the borders of Upper Austria, Styria, and Salzburg, the Dachstein Massif is part of the Northern Limestone Alps and includes the Dachstein Peak itself, which rises to 2,995 meters. This region was once the floor of a prehistoric sea, and the limestone rock layers over 200 million years old, filled with fossils and rich geological detail. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a magnet for hikers, historians, and geologists. In the 19th century, it was a hotspot for pioneering alpinists who laid the foundations of modern mountaineering. Today, the area is renowned for its caves, the Dachstein Ice Cave, Mummet Cave, and Koppenbrüller Cave, which reveal icy sculptures, underground rivers, and vast caverns deep within the mountains. Above ground, the suspension bridge, skywalk platform, and the stairway to nothingness attract thrill seekers and photographers alike, offering panoramic views over the Salzkammergut. Culturally, the region is rooted in centuries-old farming practices, especially in the Rumsau Plateau, where alpine pastures and wooden chalets preserve a traditional way of life. The Massif also plays a vital role in climate research, with its rapidly shrinking glaciers serving as indicators of global warming. The Dachstein Massif isn't just a mountain range. It's a massive natural museum where Earth history, alpine ecology, and human exploration converge. Schafberg Mountain. This is a mountain where you can reach straight to a mountaintop by a cogwheel steam train. Located near the town of St. Wolfgang in the Salzkammergut region, Schafberg rises 1,783 meters above sea level and is best known for the Schafbergbahn, a steam-powered cog railway operating since 1893. This makes it one of the oldest mountain railways in Austria, and its original locomotives are still in operation today. The ride itself is a journey through time, winding up steep inclines past forests, meadows, and rocky cliffs until reaching the summit. From the top, panoramic views stretch across lakes like Wolfgang See, Mondsee, and Attersee, creating one of the most photographed spots in the Alps. Interestingly, Schafberg also played a role during World War II as a strategic lookout point, and today it continues to be monitored for geological stability due to its steep limestone cliffs. At the summit, the historic Schafbergspitz Hotel, built in 1862, still offers lodging. It is one of the highest hotels in Austria. Weissensee. This high-altitude lake in Carinthia known for its quiet beauty and environmental purity. At 930 meters above sea level, it is the highest bathing lake in the Alps with some of the cleanest water in Europe, and its visibility often reaching up to 10 meters. What truly sets Weissensee apart is its commitment to eco-friendly tourism. Motorboats are banned, and electric boats, rowing, and swimming are encouraged. The lake is part of a protected nature park, where local regulations strictly preserve biodiversity and water quality. In winter, Weissensee transforms into Europe's largest natural ice surface, drawing over 5,000 skaters annually for events like the alternative Dutch 11 Cities Tour, a marathon speed skating race. The region was sparsely populated, and traditional alpine farming remains an important cultural element. There are no big resorts here, only small, family-run guest houses and chalets that blend into the landscape. Lake Wolfgang. This is a lake where emperors relaxed, composers found inspiration, and a talking white horse became a legend. That's Lake Wolfgang, known locally as Wolfgangsee, one of Austria's most beloved lakes and a place where history, culture, and natural beauty intersect. Situated in the Salzkammergut region, this lake has been a popular retreat for centuries. It's named after Saint Wolfgang of Regensburg, who, according to legend, built a church by throwing an axe from the mountain down to the shore, where the beautiful village of Saint Wolfgang now stands. During the era of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Emperor Franz Joseph and Empress Elizabeth often vacationed nearby. The crystal-clear waters are ideal for swimming, sailing, and paddleboarding, as well as scenic trails around the lake and up the surrounding mountains. The lake's charm lies in its accessibility. Villages like St. Gilgen, Straubel, and St. Wolfgang are connected by ferry boats and hiking paths that offer incredible views. With its mix of folklore, imperial nostalgia, and alpine adventure, Lake Wolfgang is both a tranquil getaway and a cultural icon. Kitzsteinhorn. This was the first glacier in the country to offer skiing back in 1965. Located near Kaprun in the Salzburg region, Kitzsteinhorn rises to 3,203 meters and is part of the Hohe Tauern range. The glacier creates a year-round destination for winter sports, attracting skiers from beginners to pros. While the views are enchanting, they mask a tragic event. In 2000, the Gletscher funicular tunnel fire led to 155 deaths, initiating worldwide reforms in mountain transport safety regulations. Since then, the area has been redeveloped with state-of-the-art cable cars and educational facilities like the Gipfelwelt 3000, an interactive center at the summit that explores glacier science, alpine ecology, and local geology. One unique feature is the National Park Gallery, a tunnel carved into the mountain that leads to a viewing platform with dramatic views over the Hohe Tauern National Park. In addition to skiing and snowboarding, Kitzsteinhorn is also a hub for climate research, with scientists regularly monitoring the glacier's thickness, movement, and melt patterns. Achensee. The lake is often called the Tyrolean Sea because of its size and vibrant color. Stretching over 9 kilometers long and nearly 133 meters deep, Achensee is the largest lake in Tyrol and is framed by the Karwendel and Rofan mountain ranges. Its unique color comes from mineral-rich mountain runoff and glacial origins, giving the lake an almost Caribbean appearance, despite its icy alpine temperatures. Historically, Achensee played a surprising role in commerce. Beginning in the late 15th century, Emperor Maximilian I ordered the construction of a canal connecting the lake to the Inn River for timber transport. Later, steamships began to operate on the lake, with the first one launching in 1887, a service that still continues today with vintage boats offering scenic cruises. Lake inspired famous Austrian writer Ludwig Ganghofer, who set many of his alpine novels in the region. Today, the lake is a magnet for windsurfers, kiteboarders, and sailors thanks to steady winds, while its surroundings attract hikers and paragliders. Almbachklamm Gorge. Located just outside the Austrian border near Markschellenberg in Bavaria but historically tied to Salzburg's salt trade routes, Almbachklamm Gorge is a dramatic, narrow canyon filled with waterfalls and wooden walkways. The Almbach stream slices through limestone cliffs, creating a 3-kilometer trail that features footbridges, tunnels, and natural rock basins formed by water erosion over millennia. Historically, this gorge was part of a vital salt transport route during the height of the salt trade, and remnants of old mills and transport structures still stand today. The Marble Ball Mill, which dates back to the 17th century and is still in operation, turning local limestone into perfectly round marbles using only water power. There are signs along the gorge walk detail the geology, flora, and fauna of the region, turning a scenic hike into a natural science lesson. The area also supports rare plant species like alpine ferns and mosses that thrive in the damp, shaded environment. Wachau Valley. The Wachau Valley, nestled along the Danube between Melk and Krems, really brings together a fantastic mix of stunning nature, old history, and rich culture. Talk about old. This 36-kilometer area has been lived in continuously since prehistoric times. They even found the Venus of Willendorf nearby, which is a 32,000-year-old figure and one of the oldest human figurines ever discovered. The region flourished in the Middle Ages as a vital link in Danube trade, and today it's dotted with castles, terraced vineyards, Baroque churches, and charming villages. The valley's unique microclimate, created by the Danube and the hills around it, is absolutely perfect for growing grapes and fruit. This also makes the Wachau one of Austria's top wine regions, famous for its Gruner Veltliner and Riesling. These grapes are grown in super steep vineyards that people have been tending by hand for hundreds of years. Throughout the year, the area hosts wine festivals, apricot harvest events. With its seamless blend of nature, agriculture, and heritage, the Wachau Valley is not just a destination. It's a living archive of European history and land stewardship. Zillertal Valley. This is one of Austria's most dynamic alpine regions. Located in the Tyrol province, the valley stretches about 32 kilometers from the town of Strasse to the high alpine border with Italy and is home to over 25 picturesque villages. It has been inhabited since the Bronze Age, with archaeological finds suggesting a long history of alpine pastoralism. In the 19th century, the valley gained fame across Europe thanks to traveling singers from the region. One group even helped spread the Christmas carol, Silent Night, across the continent. Zillertal is also a major hub for alpine sports. The Zillertal Arena and Hintertux Glacier offer skiing nearly year-round, while the summer transforms the area into a paradise for hiking, mountain biking, and paragliding. Another cool thing about the valley is its old tradition of alpine dairying. You can actually visit local mountain huts and see how they make cheese and butter the traditional way, with methods that have been around for ages. Ecotourism is thriving here, with the Zillertal Valley offering a scenic, sustainable way to explore the valley. Lake Neusiedl. This is Austria's largest lake, doesn't have a single mountain view, and that's exactly what makes it unique. Straddling the Austria-Hungary border, Lake Neusiedl is a shallow steppe lake surrounded by vast reed beds, meadows, and salt pans. Completely different from Austria's alpine lakes, it forms the heart of Seewinkel National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Europe's most important wetlands. The lake itself is only about 1.8 meters deep at most, making it ideal for birdlife, which thrives in the diverse ecosystems around it. Over 340 bird species have been recorded here, including storks, herons, spoonbills, and rare types of geese and ducks. The region's unique microclimate also viticulture. The surrounding area is famous for producing high-quality white and dessert wines. Traditional salt extraction from nearby pans dates back centuries and contributes to the region's ecological richness. Today, the national park balances conservation with ecotourism, with its guided birdwatching tours, cycling paths, and educational centers that highlight both the biodiversity and the cultural history of the area. Golling Waterfall. Located just 30 kilometers south of Salzburg near the town of Golling and der Salzach, the Golling Waterfall is a hidden gem tucked within a forested ravine. Dropping 76 meters in two main stages, it may not be Austria's tallest, but its setting makes it one of the most enchanting. Fed by the Schwarzbach River, the waterfall's source is the enigmatic Schwarzbachfall, a karst spring and cave system that has captivated people for decades. Historically, this area was part of a pilgrimage route, and 17th century monks are believed to have visited the falls for contemplation and inspiration. In the Romantic era, painters and writers flocked here to capture its wild beauty. Today, a short yet scenic hiking path leads to a wooden platform at the base of the falls, offering close-up views of the roaring water and the rainbow-like mist that often forms on sunny days. Even if it's not as famous as other Austrian spots, the Golling Waterfall really shows how those quieter places often have the coolest stories. Bluntauseen. Do you want to explore a lake so clear you can count the pebbles on its bottom? Welcome to Bluntauseen, a pair of pristine alpine lakes tucked away in the Zillertal Valley, near the town of Golling in Salzburg. Surrounded by the rugged peaks of the Hagen and Tennen Mountains, these glacier-fed lakes are a quiet haven. What makes Bluntauseen special is its purity, tranquility, and an untouched natural setting that feels like a hidden world. The lakes are fed by the Tauern Bach, a cold, fast-moving mountain stream that originates higher up in the Bluntauseen Valley and continues into the Salzach River. The area is a protected nature reserve, part of the broader Salzach River ecosystem, and motorboats are strictly forbidden. Fishing is limited to controlled conservation purposes, and swimming is discouraged to protect the delicate water balance. Bluntauseen is surrounded by dense alpine forest, mossy meadows, and dramatic rock walls. Trails around the lakes are flat and accessible. In spring and early summer, wildflowers bloom along the paths, and you may spot herons, frogs, dragonflies, and even rare orchids along the shorelines. The area often described as a natural meditation space because of the deep silence, only broken by birdsong and rustling leaves. Historically, the valley was used by salt traders and monks who passed through on foot. While nearby Golling and its waterfall attract more crowds, Bluntauseen remains uncrowded and pure, offering a glimpse into what the Alps might have looked like centuries ago. If you're looking for a quiet, untouched corner of Austria where nature speaks softly but clearly, Bluntauseen is the perfect place to stop, breathe, and just be. So, you made it to the end. Thanks for watching and exploring Austria's amazing nature with us. From tranquil lakes to alpine peaks, we hope it inspired your next adventure. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us which place amazed you the most, or where you'd love to go next. Until next time, happy travels.